Oh, you know? Test. There we go. My microphone was not plugged in all the way. Test. There we go. I think it just like went off that. Ah, everything's happening. Okay, I think we're good. Mike, I can turn down a little bit if it's coming through a little too loud. But yeah, hi, happy Wednesday, everyone. Low spoons this week. I'm sick. I'm on my cycle. TMI, but actually no, like I'm someone who talks about mine way too much. It just I didn't realize until like a few years ago how much it like affects my like week to week productivity and mood. So I'm just very in tune with it now, and I just when we're feeling low spoons, we just take care of ourselves and things will get better. We're coming back. We're coming back. But hi everyone. Yeah, the every flavored beans. I should have gotten the bamboozled ones because those are the ones where like they have the same color, but they're like two different flavors, so you really don't know which one you're gonna get. Instead, I think I switched it to just like it's a random bean now, and I can't look when I like grab it, and then we'll figure it out what it is after. So feel free to redeem it if you want to. I think Anya, you're the only one who's redeemed it. I think we had a couple of cheers. Oh yeah, cheers, Rachel and Jetpack, and a water sip as well. So cheers, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Staying extra hydrated. My daughter and I are sick, so oh, Jetpack. That's so Midwestern of you. But yeah, happy Wednesday. Beans, you say? Uh oh. I think I do have them all ready to go right here, so throw them at me. Okay, let me pull up the TikTok chat. Even though I am just like considering taking off the TikTok stream, I only lose followers. I've only ever lost followers streaming on TikTok. I've gotten like some people chatting in there. Um, but yeah, I just lose followers on there, which isn't that big of a deal. Like I always have those people too where you follow them like years ago and you just like aren't super interested in following them anymore. So like they pop up and you're like, oh yeah, it's time to say bye. So I totally understand that. That's fine, but that feels like it's the only result of streaming on TikTok. I lived in the Midwest for years, moved out, but the Ope will stay forever. The Ope is how we know that you were one of us. But that's really fun. I was a Midwest hater turned Midwest lover, so I've really learned how to like romanticize where I live with its flaws and everything, and I get it. It's not for everyone. I love it out here. I love my quiet little cozy life and everything that comes with it. Um, but yeah, so not feeling the best today. How's everyone else feeling this week? How's everyone's weeks going? I hope work and school and everything is going well and treating you nicely. My husband he has like, it's like fine at work, but like, it's like, when they just start moving things around and like, oh yeah, your manager might change and they just like reorganize groups. He had that. That's everyone's going through it this week where he works. And he's just like, I've just never been so like apprehensive for something. Like everything's going to be fine, but it's just like not knowing until you know, but knowing that there's a meeting. The worst feeling. The worst feeling. Um, yeah, we are playing Legend of the Crystal Skull some more today. We had such a good session on Saturday. Saturday was everything I needed it to be and more. It was perfect. My husband even came home like he was not going to get home till like 10 and they ended up leaving a little earlier, so we got home at 7, so we did get to spend the night together. So, it was perfect. Been surprisingly productive so far this week, and tomorrow's my last class before Easter. Oh, I hope you have a really nice, restful Easter breaks, not spring break. How long do you get for Easter break? Is it just like the Friday, Monday? We used to get that, but where we live, we get so much snow that they just like ended up doing away with it because we'd like need to make up a snow day anyways. But yeah, I'm glad it's been really productive. You're in like that downward slide for the year. Do you have to do anything for like summer classes or anything, or are you like off for the summer? Because that's the best feeling. As a teacher, still one of the better feelings. Like, it is so nice just having a separate like 3 months of just whatever you want. Those were luxurious. Very luxurious. Okay, I do want to peek real quick. Through my week, I keep a little note on my phone of just like stream topics. So like when I'm like thinking of something to say, I can pull from a list and remember things easier. Fridgescaping is what I wrote down for this week's. Has anyone seen Fridgescaping? Super random. I don't know why I wrote that one down, but Fridgescaping, where people like make their fridges like beautiful and aesthetic and like honestly could be into it. I have like a very organized fridge. I will give myself that. We got like those little organizer clear bins, and everything's like really functional. So like it's super easy to grocery shop now because we have like a proteins bin. We have like my mayonnaise, garlic, sour cream bin where I can make like aiolis and stuff really easily. There's like a snack bin. There's, herb little bin thing. I have my little egg carton. It is nice, but the Fridgescaping, if you haven't seen it, you have to look it up on TikTok because it is beautiful. Or, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, short form content site should have some Fridgescaping to check out. Traditionally, it's Thursday to Monday, but they usually add on days, so it's a whole week, Monday to Monday. Ooh, that's nice. Summer classes aren't a thing here, so I'm on summer break from the end of May. That's fantastic. I'm really excited for you. Do you have, like, any, like, summer plans or anything? Everyone feels their summer differently. I always worked for mine, but I don't know if you have any fun plans for that nice break you get. And then my other topic I wrote down, which I think we've talked about, like, this much on here. I don't even know, actually, because I've had it written down for a while, is the Alex Hill game, and is that something we should play together? That was made by, it's a Clue Crew member, so a Nancy Drew fan made the game, and I think the Nancy Drew PC Games account actually, like, came out and, like, congratulated them. Yes, I've heard it's really good. I've seen a little tiny bit of stream play. I haven't tried to, like, look much because I want it to be, like, just a really fresh approach game, especially because I don't not like 33 and 34. They're just so different from Nancy Drew games for me, and I've heard the Alex Hill game is, like, the person who made it, like, really focused on that Nancy Drew feeling from, like, the original games. Yeah, I have it on my wish list, too. And then another one I think I'm going to play off stream probably is just like a for fun game. I really, really want to play Urban Jungle. I've been seeing more and more of that game. I had the download or the demo for it. I have not played the demo, but that's like basically decorating your apartment with plants and like petting a cat is the gist of that game. And it looks super cute. I'm going to visit my best friend right after my exams. Haven't seen her since my 17th birthday. Holy moly, that was a while ago. That'll be awesome. Play the demo, and it's very much older Nancy Drew vibes. Good. That's exactly what I need. I think we will probably save that one for stream. I would love to have a mystery style game where I'm not familiar with it, and especially if you guys are a little less familiar with it too. I think that would be a really fun stream idea. Sorry, I typically get like stuffed up in my nose when I'm talking too much, and it's gonna be worse today, so I really apologize for that. My poor daughter and I are just sniffly and a little coffee, and it is what it is. Nice little spring cold. It could be worse. I've been way sicker. This is a pretty manageable sickness. I was even like, do I stream today? And I was like, honestly, it's more work to do regular work than it is to stream, and I'm feeling fine. So obviously, we're gonna stream. But yeah, I was like, I don't want to run around with my camera and try filming stuff. I just want to like sit and play a game and chat with my people. So, no, that was a no-brainer one today. Let's see. That's all I had written down for topics, though. It was, like I said, we were here Saturday chatting up a storm. Jetpack, I hope work is chilling out for you too. I know it's just been crazy for you lately, so I hope you're kind of winding down, hopefully. It sounds like a really busy season for you. All right, should we just like jump in? I don't know how long she's gonna sleep for. I never do. It's always a toss up, but should we just jump in? Let's do it. Let's do it. I think I got everything updated right. I didn't want to close out of what I just closed out of, though. 1 second. Oh, I'm just so... It's like all up here. It's that kind of sickness. Oops. I want all restore. There we go. So I hope everyone else is staying healthy. And it's finally like getting nice out this week too. It's supposed to be close to 70 today, Fahrenheit. I'll take it. Oh no, I did not see the every flavor. Okay, obviously we need to do this first. I did not see that got redeemed. I saw it like, oh, I need to pull up my other. That's the one thing with the Restream tool that I'm using is it does not import the TikTok, or not TikTok, the Twitch, like, not bit rewards. What am I trying to call them? Rewards. Channel point rewards. There we go. Weird. It didn't even pop up on this stream manager thing. So, okay, here we go. Not looking. Let's shake them up really well. I think one fell out. I don't know what the flavors are either. So this is the one in question. Yeah, they're pretty old. I mean, it's candy. It's, you know, little... They're over a year old, at least. More than a year old. It's not good. Is it? It tastes like a grilled cheese. No, it tastes like pizza. It was, allegedly. Oh, it's vomit. It tastes like pizza, which isn't the best taste for a jelly bean. By the way, if you redeem something and I mean, vomit could taste like pizza, right? It's not, you know, condensed to just one flavor. Oh, it's getting worse. It's stuck. They're old. They are too old, I think. Is there an expiration date? They're not expired. They're good until September 1st, 2025. I gotta, like, pick it out of my teeth, though. Apologies. I know it's not the most polite thing, but... Could have been worse. No, I think they went, like, way too... They were way too soft with the flavor of that one. That one needed to be a lot worse. Okay, hold on. Not a pleasant taste, but like I said, definitely could have been worse. All right, so with that, let's get into our game. Vomit tasting like pizza. There's worse things for it to taste like. Yeah, it was definitely like... So my husband and I got Domino's last weekend because it was just us, you know, vibing here. It took forever to eat that slice on stream. Um, I get pineapple and black olive pizza, and it tasted weirdly like that. It tasted like the Parmesan. Yeah, Parmesan pineapple kind of mash. I made a clip. Oh no. Yeah, it's just there was like a cheesiness. There's worse. What are all the flavors again? I'm not gonna look at the like colors too hard. So it's vomit, which okay, I dropped a green one too, which would have been grass or green apple. Probably grass. Marshmallow, rotten egg. That one I'd hate to get. Sausage. Sausage candy. Lemon, soap, tutti frutti, vomit, watermelon, banana, black pepper, blueberry, booger, candy floss, cherry, cinnamon, dirt, earthworm, and earwax. So they're old, not expired though. Would like to emphasize that. Although I'm like, are you guys pretty loose with expiration dates? Because I'm like a try it before you throw it kind of person. Um, there is a point of no return, and like smell test. Always have to give them one of those. But I very loosely follow an expiration date. Their suggestions, and especially if it's like a sell by date, that's good for like another week. Depends on the food. It does depend on the food. Dairy scares me a little bit. But milk, I feel like in general, I'm a huge milk drinker. I know that's not like for everyone, but milk in general, like can stay pretty okay, like a day or two. Once the smell's there though, it's over. Smell test for sure. Yeah, smell test is the big indicator. I did have cottage cheese not be okay on me the other day. That one was pretty. Here we go. 17. Legend of the Crystal Skull. That was pretty rough. All right, let me know how sound. Hold on. I think an issue. There, can you guys still hear okay? There. My webcam mic was on, which I think I accidentally clicked at one point. I don't want there to be like an echo. I usually get my dad to check dairy because he's worked in the dairy industry, the expert. But COVID ruined his. No, he was one of those people. And it's still like, has it like come back a little bit? Is it still pretty gone? Can he taste okay? I had a friend that had not the exact same thing, but they got COVID, and afterwards they were like hypersensitive to onion powder and anything, like onions in general. So like when he'd come for our like twice a year beer fest things, you'll always hear me talk about those. I had to be careful with how much onion I put in the chili that year because he was hypersensitive to it. He's like, even like flavored chips and stuff, like I can always, if there's like a hint of onion powder, I can taste it. And he's like, it tasted like, what did it taste like to him? It just had like a really like pungent kind of taste, and like almost like a pukey taste. And it would just like, he was so hunky Lamont. That's right, Anya. He got COVID back in 2022, and his smell is pretty faint, as if he's congested all the time. Oh, that's a bummer. We got it. I think we didn't get it until 2022 either. We somehow I literally made it through all of teaching without getting COVID. No clue how. We were masked. I don't think we were masked actually. In 2022, in that school year, I don't think we were. We were for a whole school year, and then we weren't. But yeah, I never got COVID until I quit teaching, and then I got it like twice, like back to back almost. It was crazy. Or like twice in like the following like 8 months, or not back to back, but I need to go real quick. My husband is calling me. I will be right back. Oops. Hold on. I'm trying to check. Okay, we're good now. There, we're back. All fine news. He was just giving me the debrief after his meeting. I hate those kinds of meetings. They always, like, even if you know, like, his boss even, like, texted him last night. He's like, don't worry, like, you're fine and stuff. But, it's, like, it's the climate right now. It's the world right now. It's just one of the, like, you never want to get too comfortable. You know what I mean? I went through most of high school without getting it until we went on a class trip during senior year for religions class. Not for a religions class, where we got merged into small churches with other classes who had constant COVID cases. Yeah, there was no, you didn't stand a chance. I'm sorry. That was like, it was bound to happen after that. That stinks. Nope, it's both times we got COVID. Like, it's one of those illnesses where, like, you feel the first symptoms and you just kind of like, oh, yeah. I haven't gotten it since, I don't think. But I just remember the 2 times I got it, feeling like I got ran over by a bus and, like, my entire body. Like, it was like my neck and my back is where it would start, like, upper shoulders area. And then, like, from there it would just, like, spread everywhere else. Also, I know what I was going to talk about. I got my Cozy Gamer Emporium sweatshirts. I'm wearing the It's Locked one today. It's even more cozy than it looked in the pictures, and I'm very excited. So I got this one, and then I got the Junior Detective embroidered one in pink, so I'll obviously wear that for the next stream. All right, we left off with Bess and Lamont. Hunky Lamont. And we need to get him some food. That's right. So we need to get into the back again. I'm refreshing myself. I managed to survive living with some unknowingly in the same dorm room for like, that's a miracle. You were like a chosen one. You weren't meant to get it. That's crazy. I do feel like, were you guys like close to the ages where it like affected life experience things? Because that's one thing I really lucked out with, where when we planned our wedding, we got engaged in 2020 and just kind of had like the sense to like push off the wedding for, I think we'd had like a year and a half long, a little over, for our engagement. So we were able to have like a normal wedding by the summer of 2022. I think there was like still like a cap on how many people, but we didn't invite that many people anyway, so it was, not that big of a deal. But I just know I had, like, some of my cousins, like, their senior year of high schools, their college experiences and stuff like that. And I feel like it's just never really been the same since then. But I know I've had good friends. Like, my brother's wedding was supposed to be a 2020 wedding. We were all going to fly out to LA for it and ended up having to do, like, I think the limit was 10 people in California that summer. So we had, like, a 10-person wedding for him. And we just, like, rented out I've talked about it before. We rented out a mansion in the hills. It was owned by Frank Sinatra, and there was a stripper pole in it. Fun fact. And a little like putt-putt course and a pool, and like it was a super fun wedding actually, and one of those things where like looking back, we're so happy that's the way it turned out. Like obviously you want your like big wedding if that's what you want. They wanted a big wedding with all their friends and family. Didn't want to, like, wait until COVID was over to figure out what to do. So, yeah, we just had a really cool, big sleepover wedding. It was awesome. I managed to survive. Oh, sorry, I just read that one. I got super feverish, shivering in cold sweats, and I, for the life of me, couldn't understand what was happening because when I get a fever normally, I only get small hot flashes. So we assumed I got the flu until my dad found a COVID test for me, and those lines were bright red. I remember Tanner took one too one time, and it said it took like 3 minutes or something for it to come back, and it was like the first he like touched it and the liquid ran across and it just like turned bright, whatever color it was. Thankfully my grandma didn't get sick, even though me and my dad were low-key dying for a week. I'm happy your grandma was okay. We were the same way with my grandma too, where I think we definitely canceled Thanksgiving that year, and we did a Zoom Thanksgiving, which is super depressing. Yeah, we talked about this because I think I told you guys about my Zoom funeral I had to go to. We did mask the whole hour ride home. And she was stuck at my house for another day, and then I just sprayed so much Lysol before my stepdad got back home from a work trip. That is the way to do it.
What looks good to you?
Okay, so what are we... Did he specify what he wanted? Let's get him some gumbo.
Gumbo to go, please?
Knock yourself out.
And load it up with that hot sauce. Lamont will be breathing fire. Thanks, Shorty. There's been times when my boyfriend had it and I've avoided getting it. I made him sleep on the couch and leave the windows open for fresh air. We've never been able to, like... I feel like we're just such commiserators, too. We're like... Even yesterday, my husband got home and, you know, of course, like, did this right away because he's like, oh, I'm trying not to get sick. And then a few hours later, he's like, I don't know, I think I'm feeling a little sniffly. We're commiserators when we're sick. Like, we don't want to be sick together, but it's one of those things where it feels inevitable to be sick together. Big supporter of airing out the house when someone gets sick. Yeah, 100%. And there's just like, there's that still stinky air in your house after like a couple days of rotting while you're sick. Oops, we got a like spammer thing. How do I feel like they just like switched. Let me do it over here. Hold on. They like switched around. Okay, but how do I... Why can't I delete this message? I mean, I guess it's not the end of the world if I can't, but I'm just not getting the option to. Can I not mod my own chat right now? Whenever my dad gets sniffly after catching something from work. Yep, I just count my days of free airways. Yes. That's how we are, where we just kind of give in. Here we go. Delete. Got it. Get off the screen. Okay. Pull this back up and there we go. Oh, cute. I like the Mario emoji. Emoji? That's not what they're called on Twitch. Emotes. There we go. Okay, speaking of, I'm starting to... I don't know if it's just talking about getting sick and the sweats and stuff, but I think maybe it's just starting to get hot outside. This is my least favorite time of year, unfortunately. I love the thought of being outside and doing things outside, and... Thank you. Hey, see? We always hit our goal eventually. We always get to where we're going eventually. I'm someone who runs warm, and I know my daughter is the same way too, so it's got to be a genetic thing. I'm having like a hot flash as we speak. I think it's just starting to get humid, but like this is the worst time of year. I can't deal with humidity. My house is like never 70, never gonna hit 70. You will never see me vibing at 70. Outside, okay, but like I'm just like I want my long pants and my oversized sweatshirts and a blanket on top and the air cold so that I can be as cozy as possible. I can't do that in the summertime. And I'm a sweaty person. That's how I am. TMI, but
Enjoy.
all right, speaking of sweating. Sorry, Lamont. This is a necessary evil.
You're gonna have to excuse me.
We all know the feeling, and I'm sorry we did it to you. My stepdad keeps it. Why aren't my messages showing up now? Okay, I think I need to like... Yeah, now your guys' messages won't show up. Oh, no, they're like... I'm not getting messages. Ugh. Anyways, I can read them over here. My stepdad keeps it at 71 or 72, and I'm always in front of it. I'm a 68 girly, 100%. During the day, 68. At night, like a cool 64. I can even go down to like 62, you know, give or take. We have a kid, you know, we have a baby now, so we got to be careful with how cold we keep the house. We don't want to freeze her, obviously. Lamont is so same. Me and spicy food. Okay, we're popping back up. Now I used to keep my apartment in the low 70s like a lizard habitat. See, like, even that's, like, a little sweaty. My best friend, Hannah, like, she's, like, a 75 to 80 degrees in her house kind of person, and she's wearing shorts in the wintertime. She was, like, hi, Lucy. She was made to, like, live on a beach, though. There's some people who are just made to live in different environments. I was totally meant to be a northern girl. It's starting to get a little too hot in the summers here for me, though. When it's like 80, 90 degrees with like 70% humidity outside, you will not find me out there. You will not find me out there. Okay, did we have to look in here again? Is there anything special about this? I don't think so. We already got into all of that. What was I going to do? Sneak into the back room again. Get the name of Bruno's dog. That's what it was. Bruno and Grant. I'm just going to write it down. Grant. Yep, I was 100% made for the cold. Now, there is a point where it's too cold, you know, obviously, where we live.
Bruno Bollet was kind of a weird
But
guy.
I'll even take that.
Thanks a lot, Bess. You've been a huge help.
I'll tell you.
Okay, we're forced back to
Takes
Nancy.
a lot out of me. I'm exhausted.
I still don't know when I'll get
Moved
back
to,
there,
from
so-
Chicago to South Carolina. I was not built for the cold. Is it humid? I would assume it's humid there, but it's also kind of a coastal state, so I don't know. I've heard it's like some of the best weather ever. Like, people who move to North or South Carolina seem so happy there. But I'm guessing it's like people who also like being hot. Would I be happy there? Is it easy for a cold dwelling person to be happy in that environment, or is it too warm? Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The air is so moist down here, but I love it. That's just like, I love a dry heat. I really love like Arizona, California. I think it's great when it's hot there. Like, that's the kind of hot I would have to be in if I did move somewhere warm. It's a lot easier for me to layer up and warm up than cool down. I would so much rather be cold than hot. I would so much rather put on layers and layers to get warm than trying to cool down. I can only take off so much stuff before someone calls the cops, you know? And yeah, and I hit that point where it's like, it's a hot flash. I think I'm getting better. I am feeling better from it. I remember that, like, postpartum too. Oh, you just get the random hot flashes, and there was just like, especially at night. Oh. Pregnancy is what it is. Took that in stride. Postpartum is a mental game to get through. You're losing your hair. Actually, no, you don't lose your hair right away. It's once you're feeling better that you start losing it's like a 6-month journey, I swear. Some days I feel like I'm still in that postpartum period, but man, rough times. Would do it again. Highly recommend, but I just know what's coming for me next time. Okay, so we're back to Nancy now. We have not finished everything in the book. Hormones are crazy, and like with my, with cycles and just women hormones and stuff too, it is like, I have found so much value in educating myself on it and being in tune with it and like knowing how to take care of myself through it. I'm a huge advocate for like just women's health and, everything in general, but it's so crazy to me how we're taught about it at a young age. Here I go, guys. We're taught about it at a young age. Like, this is what happens once a month, da-da-da. But we're not taught, like, how it affects our, like, psyche and our, like, emotions and our hormones and, how to deal with that. Like, I always hit that point, like, once a month where I'm like, oh my gosh, like, do I have depression again? And it's typically just hormones. And a few days later, I feel fine. But I'm like, oh my gosh, like, do I need to like tell someone about this? Is this something I need to like seek help for? And then I feel fine like 2 days later, and I know I'm going to typically reach that point, but it's helpless for, sometimes a full week there. Oh my goodness.
I haven't done
Leading up to it is just, I am a different human, and then I get past it and I can honestly take over the world. I need to like be able to bottle this energy up where, which phase is it? The follicular phase and like the ovulation phase. I think I could kick down a wall if I needed to. Always surprises. Yes, it happens. It's clockwork every single month. Like, I know it's coming and I'm like aware of it now, but like I'm still just like, oh no, do I need to like seek help for this? Which, totally okay. Incoming ad break. I have a thing for it now. Let's snooze. There we go. I did figure out how to put a thing on so I get like notified for it. And need to bring my OBS back up. Sorry, every time I click out it minimizes this. But then like the best part is though is I just know those 2 weeks I'm going to feel great and get so much work done, and then I can like rest a little bit more during my not so great phase. I've been self-medicating with birth control, so it's either a win-win situation or a lose-lose situation. Yep. And I did not notice it as much when I was on birth control. I don't think I've taken birth control for like a while. I tried a few different kinds. It would really mess with my hormones and stuff. And just for me personally, I never like to be someone that's like, oh, everyone should do this because it worked for me. For me personally, I just feel a lot more level-headed off of it. But I know for like other people, obviously it's like leaps and bounds the differences it makes for people's cycles and hormones and, physical side effects and stuff like that. But nope, it's one of those, I think it worked for me for a while. And then I just hit a point where I don't know if I like my hormones shifted or something. It just, they weren't agreeing with each other anymore. I'd always question my cramps and sweet tooth and my sudden depressive. It's the depressive state that sneaks up on you. And you're like, I felt fine a few days ago. Why do I feel so out of control and like helpless and hopeless right now? Yeah, I feel like I'm losing it like every time. And then, yep, you get it a week later and you're like, oh yeah, duh, I should have known better. But it's one of those things that I've, found to be such a universal experience for women. To just go through that like helpless luteal phase. If I can power through a luteal phase, that's how I like my goal every month is to just power through my luteal phase. And if I can achieve that, great month for me. I get so much stuff done and I feel on top of the world for it. But that doesn't happen every month. And it's just one of those things I've had to teach myself to just, take care of myself through it and, feed my body some things that aren't candy. Sometimes you need a little candy to get through it, but just make sure I'm really taking my vitamins and staying on top of stuff. No, yeah, I genuinely thought I was bipolar in high school and that my episode just coincidentally synced up with my cycle. Oh, brother. And that's what I'm saying. Like, we need to be taught more about what it does to us emotionally and mentally and hormonally. And we just need to, like, educate women fully about how their bodies work and how their brains work with their bodies. Because I've gone through the exact same thing, Anya, where I'm like, is this a normal fluctuation to feel? And then I saw like a random video one day. I don't even know like who it was or where it was from. And it was just someone that's like, yeah, here's why you feel this way at different points in your month. And you need to like nurture your body through those points and like work with yourself through it. Changed my life. And like I said, like sometimes it still sneaks up on me and I'm like, oh my gosh, like is there something wrong with me? There is, it's my cycle, but it's being a human who has a cycle. But hey, we've learned and we're getting better. We're more educated than we used to be. Or like I can be such a like, and I've gotten way better in my adulthood, but it's something I noticed like when I was younger. I can be like such a like spender when I'm like in my luteal phase. I'm very impulsive, I've noticed, and so I have to be so careful with like sleeping on things and like, hey, we might want this thing, but let's, are we making this purchase to make ourselves feel better, or is this actually something we need? I would like, it affects so many areas. Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy I'm not alone. Jetpack, you get it. I'm getting another hot flash. Like, and it's like, it's not even just like a $25 purchase or like, a purchase that you can justify to make yourself feel a little bit better. It's like hundreds, sometimes of dollars that I don't need it. I wanted the clothes to make myself feel better, but now I bought them and I don't feel better. And it's something that I just had to educate myself on and be like, hey, you want to buy that right now because you're in your luteal phase. Let's just maybe like wait a week, keep it in the cart if we still want it. Should we have another. Okay, ad break starting in 50 seconds. We will just get through it and then we'll really dive into the game. Yep, usually, and there's sometimes I don't. Like I said, like it can sneak up on me so hard sometimes that I don't even know I'm in my luteal phase and I'm like just oblivious to like what's driving my psyche. But yeah, I've been in the same boat, and just knowing about it makes it get better. Knowing about it has helped. Okay, I think let's just do this real quick. I'm going to go ahead and do an ad break. I'm just going to go through the list over on Nancy and like check off what we have done. And then once that's over, we will get back to it. Here we go. Okay, back to our game. There we go. Okay, we're just checking off if you're still able to watch while we're on ad break. We're just checking off our task list for Nancy real quick. And I apologize because I'm super stuffy. This one I don't understand yet.
I haven't done that.
I think it maybe hints to the book puzzle, but I'm not 100% sure on that. 10 seconds left on our ad break. And then we'll be firing it back up. Okay, I think we're back. What a good time to have money anxiety because I don't touch my bank account. Like, do you, like, not manage yours or something, or you're just really good at not spending? Because I admire that. That's my husband. He's, like, the kind of person where it's like, okay, you have holes in your shoes. Like, it's okay to spend money on, like, a nice pair of new shoes for yourself. He's so fun to spoil just because he's someone who will never, ever spoil himself. But, yeah. It's the perfect balance, though. Having a spender marry a non-spender, it's a good balance. It's a good balance. Because I aspire to be more like him, and he's just super appreciative of, like, anything that feels like excess, like, but sometimes it's, like, a necessary purchase. Like, bro, get yourself better shoes. Like, it's okay. And then he'll do it, and he's, like, he's so cute about it. Like, he's just like, oh, my gosh, like, these feel so much nicer. He's such a big appreciator of gifts. So easy to shop for. I love him. I do manage it. I manage it by not using money at all. See, Anya, good for you. I aspire to be like you. Nope. I have that money spending gene in me and like I said, adulthood has definitely curbed it a little bit more. I cringe when I think back to college sometimes, and I was like, girl, why were you spending $60 on foundation? What were you thinking back then? That's crazy. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Nope, and now I'm more so like, I go through like my dragon phases where I like hoard my wealth and I'm like, I just let that pile, build up as much as I can. And then like every once in a while I'm like, okay, we've built it up. She's looking pretty. You can spend this much money. Go for it, girl. That's how I manage myself now. I have like 1,500 of my student loans collecting dust in my savings. Beautiful place for them to collect dust. As you should. Oh my gosh. the people I'd know who would like use their student loans to go on spring break and stuff. We can't be doing that. That's not what we're supposed to be using that for. You have to pay them off someday. Okay, we were just looking at our task list. Bruno Self-Fit. This one I'm confused about. I was saying that while the ad break was on because I just genuinely don't know what they're looking for this. I don't know if this refers to like the book puzzle that we have to complete or if it's like something completely different. Pull the heads. I hate this one. Saturday turned me into a bit of a pessimist for this game, which I still love this game. I still think it's a really fun, cute, gloomy day game, and I will still play it on stormy days to come. But it just wanted, like, the middle of it is just not, it's not peak Nancy for sure. Ask us to take another look at the old photo. We did that. And we have his dog's name, Grant. Use the name of Bruno's dog to hopefully finish up the goofball tombstone scavenger hunt. That piece of paper from the dummy's head. That's a sentence that's never been uttered before. I did, however, like a month ago, burn off a good 120 on some ceramic pieces from an art exhibition at my uni. But I'm supporting... I was just going to say, like, if you're supporting a small business, it's worth the extra splurge. If it's something that you want and you want to support it, 100%. Yeah. Ooh, for context, this is from my personal... I'm excited to read this. My personal finance class I had to take, which should be a required class, like, fundamentally, genuinely. I would have benefited from that a lot. Someone made a post on Google Classroom. Rothy was the nickname of our teacher. Rothy, I tried using your tactics. Today a girl added me on Snapchat and hit me up. Conversation got started, and I asked if she was an impulse buyer. She left me on red and probably won't snap me again. Her spending habits clearly weren't good. Day 3 being quarantined. Iconic message. I love that was shared as a post. And I just know that professor, like, loved seeing his education being used out in the wild. That is, hey, a good question for someone that you are looking to partner up with for life. You have your finances in order. I can be an impulse spender, but like I said, it's just one of those things I've been able to, especially getting in tune with my cycle, I've been able to curb. Keep the screenshot after all these years. That's like one of those treasure trove screenshots that, especially like just being in like a personal class space, you have to keep it forever. I have a whole folder of those kinds of things. Okay, so we've got to... Because what was the thing from the... I found this old... Where am I putting the name in? Sometimes my brain just, like, resets. Where do we put the name in? Okay. Use the name of Bruno's dog to hopefully finish up the goofball tombstone Talk, Maddie. To finish up the goofball tombstone scavenger hunt, that piece of paper from the dummy's head got me going. Do we have to go back to polyester Givens? Should we have just finished this on Saturday? Because I feel like I'm completely refreshed and I don't know what it's asking me to do now because there is nowhere to put it on this piece of paper. I don't think I'm going to get anything from there. There we go. Thank you. I was like, was I supposed to like put it at the end or something? Thank you. I love Backseat Gaming. Thank you so much. Which, if anyone's new here, I love Backseat Gaming. Please help me please help me buy Backseat Gaming because I benefit greatly from it. I've played these games before. It's just one of those. Let me go back to the beginning. I've realized I'm someone, and another streamer I watch is the same way. Girlvana. He does a bunch of Bethesda playthroughs where like I can play a game and then completely refresh in my brain and like barely remember parts of that game except for like the big moments that stick out. So every time I love replaying games because my memory's not that great when it comes to them, and I get to like re-experience it again. And part of me is like, is that like a not good indicator for my memory later in life? I really hope not. But I'm aware that, I do think I talked about this last week, I believe. I think I'm going to start doing like flashcards for myself. Not for anything like too, extreme. My memory's not that bad, but like I think I want to start doing like either flashcards for things I want to learn, which is like bird types in Minnesota, but I also really want to like get good at like memorizing the sounds of birds. So if I hear one, I'm so pro backseating. It's the best way. That's for me, like that's where I'm like, I totally understand like a blind playthrough and experiencing things for the first time, but I love the community in backseat gaming. I don't have the Merlin app. Is that a really good one for... Okay, someone's playing music. I thought it was my baby singing for a second there. Is that like a good app for doing your own flashcards? What's one? Was Quizlet one? Or is that where you... There was a really good website I used for teaching where you could just like easily make fun interactive games. And I was like, that'd just be such a nice tool for myself to just put in things I want to learn and just once or twice a day when I wake up and when I go to bed at night, just, do it twice a day and learn new things that can, hopefully make their way into my long-term memory. Because short-term memory, she's great, but she loses things. It'll listen and tell you. Oh, okay, and maybe I have heard of that app. Yes. I would love to do that. And then, like, what I want to have is, like, somehow, like, do sound clips in a quiz-style thing where I can, like, I have to identify what the bird is. I know what a cardinal sounds like. We get cardinals. I have a male and female cardinal that have been around for years. Quizlets, I think it was on its way out when I was using it as a teacher. I don't think I used it that often. But there was a fantastic website where it would, like, gamify quizzes. I could, like, import questions from a worksheet or something and, like, make a game out of it, like, in 2 minutes, it felt like. Didn't even remember the answer to this, but apparently it is this book. Perfect. Good. I'm pretty sure you're right. I think we just, like, left off on a bad place Saturday where I should have finished this, but it was, not a good place to leave off. Used to be a free program made by a student for students, but now it has payment stuff, and there's only, like, so many things you can do before. Like, it's basically unusable without paying for it. I think I remember that. We have this crazy bird that sounds like a monkey here, and I've been trying to figure out what it is. No, our cardinals, they're super loud. I know that they're super loud. And those ones, they just have, like, a really loud, piercing tweet. I saw, speaking of birds, I was looking out my kitchen window at the sink the other day, or yesterday. This was yesterday. And a whole bald eagle. We've been having crazy bald eagles around here lately. Like, I used to live up, like, way in northern Minnesota. Kahoot! Not Kahoot. But we did use that one. It wasn't Kahoot. It was a little bit more, like, personalized than that. I need to look it up. Okay. But I saw a bald eagle flying around, which, like, typically we don't see them in our town area. Like, you'll see them outside of towns. I always see, like, 3 every time I drive back to my parents' house. There's always, like, 3 flying around in the certain area that live there, which is more than we typically had down here. When I lived way up in northern Minnesota, which was so beautiful, like, woods and lakes, and that's it. It was beautiful up there. I loved living up there. We'd see bald eagles every day. That's their habitat, and we lived there too. And, I was neighbors with bald eagles and loons and beautiful bird sounds for as long as I lived up there. But yesterday, bald eagle in town, and a smaller bird chased it away. I don't even know what it was doing over here because, like I said, never see them. But yeah, a small bird chased it away. Like a big bird of prey getting chased by like a small bird that it probably could have eaten it if it wanted. Okay, make your own quiz website. I want to share this website because it was like, as far as I was concerned, totally free to use. Not Quizmaker. Quizzes. I think it was Quizzes. Quizizz. And like there's ones that you can just like, I think it's this one. Yes. Yep, Quizzes. And it's like kind of like I wouldn't be shocked if there wasn't an app for it, or I would be shocked if there wasn't one. Let me put it in chat. Because I'm pretty sure it's free for like, if it, does it pop up as Restream? No. Okay, we're good. Yeah, highly recommend it. You can like make any quiz you want on there. Okay, we have to find this name. Ugh. Or not. I've been talking too much. There wasn't a Grant, but there was like a similar name at the beginning, but that wouldn't be it. Hold on while I focus. We did end up using polyester Givens. Which one did we not use? Ukulele. Not Griffin. All right. Back to square one. I don't think that was... Do I need to go back to polyester? Because that was the last one we wrote in. I'm trying to figure out, is this like a me problem or is this like a game problem? Where it's just not... Because sometimes it's just not clear where you need to go next and I need to, you know, work my way around that, but... Yeah, maybe we just go back to polyester. Where's she at? 40 winks. And I got good at navigating the all right, far corner, the cemetery last time we played. Let me pull up. I just need to pull up one more screen over here. Boop, boop. I think my chat's working fine again.
That's the front door.
Oh, I don't know why I'm trying to leave.
I'm not leaving until I figure out what Mr. Skeleton Man was up to.
That's the front door, Nancy says, in case you weren't aware. Also, I totally understand that there was like a falling out between Lanny Minnelli and Her Interactive, and there was just like a whole... I totally get why they were trying to go more like modern and young with the voice. I will forever mourn the loss of Lanny Minnelli, right? Yep, her voice as Nancy Drew. It feels like home to me. Okay. To UHS hints. That was my last straw before just looking up the answer to this. UHS hints. Crystal Skull. Okay. Whoever writes these is a legend, and I need to know if they're currently part of like an active member of like the Clue crew. Okay, the cemetery. It's from the dummy paper. Paper from inside the dummy. Okay. When you do the last one, you get a riddle you can't answer. Call. Where do we get the riddle, though? That's what I'm missing, is I just have no clue where to look for this part. Okay. Oh, yeah. I know where to look now. Okay, I knew I was missing a big key piece here. Same name as my dog at 10, moved from his grave and buried again. And it was Grant, correct? Okay. Moved from his grave, buried again. I was looking at the wrong part, guys. Okay. Again, why I love UHS hints, because it just gives you, like, the perfect little nudges in the right direction. Last name Grant is what we're looking for. I was just looking at first names. Did it occur to me to look at last names? It did for a second. And then I was like, no, like, why would, why would they not have the first name for it since it was the dog's first name? Well, because sometimes you just need to think a little bit harder about things, Maddie, and that's okay. Derek Grant, Writhing Roots Memorial, Plot 1000. Writhing Roots, isn't that also in this little... Nope, 40 Winks is in the corner. Writhing Roots is straight to left at the tree. Okay, we're back, guys. Let me pull my my manager thing up. Oops, not trying to rate a channel. There we go. I only ever get the Norwegian Cruise Line ad when I'm in the... Oh, were ads just on? I don't even think I got the notification that time. I'm so annoyed with what I get in, like, my OBS chat. And then, like, I try to keep my... like I said, I don't think I'm going to keep streaming on TikTok. It's not really my vibe. Because I did not get the... like, notification this time. My FBI agent's bored. That is like the one cruise I would consider taking. I am not a cruise person. I'm not even like that seasick of a person. I think there's just something. Would you guys go on a cruise? Have you been on a cruise? Oops, I'm going the wrong way. It just, I think it's like the isolating feeling of like being at sea and not just having like solid land to like go on if I needed to. Like, I'm the kind of person where, like, if I won tickets to a cruise, I think I'd sell them. Okay, so, Anya, you get seasick really bad. I feel like I would. I feel like that would be the thing that would, like, push me into seasickness. Hey, we got the pirate hat and an eyeball. Now, I do know Bruno was, like, the graveyard keeper for many years, but I don't feel like it's totally legal for him to be hiding some of these things in graves. They want you to have friends so bad that you don't already have. Keep us thinking about Norway. Okay. So now... Nope, not where I wanted to go. Back into our secret room with its one-way entrance and exit. It's just so motion sensitive in general that I would never be able to handle it. It's one of those things where, like, if you get seasick, like, then what? Where do you go? I'm sure that there's, a pharmacy style place or, like, medical place on board that you could get, like, some Zoloft. Zoloft, is that the stuff? I know I got it when I was pregnant. Zofran? Zofran. I think Zoloft is an anxiety med. Nope, Zofran. Okay, we have to go get another fruit for Iggy. I am doing this game in like the most unorganized way. Can you tell it's been a while? I felt so sure of myself playing Shadow Ranch. Like that one, I was just flipping and flopping right through that game. I knew where I was going. I felt like I'm not even going to the right spot right now. This game, nothing's occurring to me. I think it's because they're fake graves. Most like, yeah. Are they? I would assume so, because like those names are crazy. Oops, not where I wanted to be. Loquat. That one I haven't heard of. I definitely think I had Zofran. And I still have some as like a just in case. I don't know how long you're supposed to keep those things for, but... I do know that first trimester sickness got me good. It doesn't get everyone. I was just one of the people that it got. Loquat's I've been calling him kumquats the whole time. Loquat.
Iggy,
I've never had that before.
Nice juicy loquat.
Now, we used to have a really fun thing in my elementary school. I don't think we continued doing it past like elementary school for me. We used to have like family day is what we'd call it, but it'd be so you were assigned like someone from each grade was in your family. So you weren't with like your classmate friends. It was just, you know, and you couldn't like my brother, for example, couldn't be in the same family as me. It was about like getting to know we'd like get along really well and like act like a cute little family and stuff. It was adorable. But it was all about like trying new foods and experiencing things like doing crafts from other cultures and just like experience, like we didn't have regular class. It was just like community experts coming in and teaching us about like a certain cool job or trip they went on or things like that. It was a really cool thing. And I'm sad that we didn't continue doing it. Do we just back out again? Yes. But we would always try, like, the coolest fruits on those days. And, like, thinking back, they're not, like, that uncommon. It was, like, star fruit and dragon fruit and, you know, things like that you just wouldn't typically have for a school lunch. But super cool. Look at this. Speaking of cool. Can I just leave it there? Okay. Do I know what to put into it yet? I don't know what that is either. Oh my gosh. Oops. I was highlighting it because that's how I read things on screen sometimes. What is that? Okay, so we did this.
All done.
Avast, matey. We watched Pirates of the Caribbean last night. I put it on my story just because that was one of the DVDs I scored from my thrift haul the other day. It's such a comfort watch. I love those movies. But it was so luxurious. It felt like we were just fawning over the previews before their movies. There was a Hidalgo preview. There was Freaky Friday. There was Spy Kids 3. And there was Lion King 1.5. 4 previews. And I was telling my brother about it because he's like been super into watching older movies lately too. And he has something called a Plex that he uses to like store all of his media on, but it's like a hard drive / online access kind of thing, I think. But his Plex has a feature that allows, like, you can like set it so that it will show you 3 previews before you watch a movie, just to like feel like that, you know, I loved watching previews before movies growing up, just like that nostalgic, you know, feeling. And so he has it set to that so we can watch 3 previews and they are from the time that movie came out. So they're always like old school previews. It's so cute. It's a sweet tuber normally used in Mexican food. I'll have to keep a lookout for that. I love using, like, especially like with my daughter, I love introducing her to all the different foods. She's such a good eater, and I'm so proud and happy to have a daughter that's a good eater. I love cooking. I love trying new things. I love different cuisines. And she is like, she takes it like a champ. She loves trying new stuff. It's got a nice snap to it. Ooh. I don't know if I'd find it here, unfortunately. That's one thing about living in a rural big town is what I call it. There's maybe like one grocery store that would have it, and I don't think they do. We don't have like a Trader. I wish we had a Trader Joe's. I feel like I could walk around a Trader Joe's like a museum, just looking at what all they have. Okay, we did this.
Check.
So we don't have anything about that little box yet. I think we just need to take a deeper look around the... Oh, the name that opens every Jolly Roger meeting opens me. We just had to look a little bit harder. Good for us. All right. Actually, do we call Bess now? All right, time to cross our friends' boundaries again. I feel so bad for Bess in this
listen, you
game.
busy?
Why?
I need you to do something for me.
What?
I need you to infiltrate the meeting of the
And
Jolly
Nancy
Rogers
comes off as
Critics
one of those
about
people
the
that like
Rampart
just
and
doesn't
Bunny.
get why
It's
Bess
gonna be
wouldn't
right
want to
here
do that
soon.
for her. Like it does not occur to Nancy
Now to get into the meeting, you'll need to put on that skeleton
that this
man
is so
costume
against
in the
like
back room.
what Bess is
Once you're
comfortable
in the
doing.
meeting,
Why wouldn't you
you'll
want to
need to
help
see
me
the name
figure out my
of the
mystery?
meeting so you can
Why
see
wouldn't you
who
want to
it
go
is,
learn this word and
okay?
sneak into a secret society meeting that
No.
everyone
I
dresses
know
up
you
like
don't
skeletons
stuff
for? Like
this, but
that's
This is really, really, really
Yeah.
important, and it'll be the last thing I
nope.
ask
You
to
stand
do.
your ground, Bess.
Absolutely.
We're playing hard-ass Bess this playthrough.
Incontrovertibly, no. Which of course actually means yes, because if I don't do this, I'll be stuck here by myself until you give up. And since we both know you will never give up, I don't suppose it would do any good to point out that the curio shop is closed.
You'll find a way in.
You'll find a way in.
As the meeting asks, the password is Scuttled Bones.
Okay, I'll give it a shot.
That's the spirit.
All right. No food, no curio shop, no Gilbert. It's just us now. Nancy, what's the worst that could happen? That you get killed, kidnapped, in traffic? Like, come on, Bess. Nancy does not have a survival instinct. I don't think she has, like, that little, like, whisper in the back of your head when you're in a situation that you don't really want to be in. Or, like, that you just, like, you get, like, that sixth sense feeling a little bit. Your, you know, instincts are picking up on something. Nancy does not have that. And if she does have it, she actively chooses to ignore it every single time. All right. Now, this is the fun part of the game. Why were there all those bugs on the door? Lamont. Oh. I don't think I need to break in there yet. There is something, though. Do I need to break in there? Because we need the costume. Did we get the costume? Get the name of Bruno's dog. We did that. Figure out
Haven't done that yet.
Zeke's so I can sneak inside. Can I do this? Beautiful. And as we learned from... Which Nancy Drew game is it? About the finger oils. Is that Haunted Carousel? I think it's Haunted Carousel. Girl, she's outside driving during a tornado. Of course, she doesn't have survival instincts, but it's for the mystery, Anya. It's for the mystery. Nancy's actually insane, and everyone... 5. I was not picking up on the 5 fingerprint. And everyone in her life is more stressed because of her. Here we go. All right, sorry for breaking into your shop, Lamont. Wait, do I need to do anything here? Disgusting sink. If there's one thing her interactive has no problem doing, it's making like some of the most disgusting sinks. I hate disgusting plumbing is just something that... Okay, no, we're good. I thought we were going to set off the sound. Is it a phobia? I don't know if I'd consider it a phobia of mine, but it's just one of those things I can't touch. Like hair in the drain, digging hair out of the drain. I'll have to take Zofran before I have to do that by myself because it will actually make me ill. I just know Bess is sweating through this thing right now.
Password? Right.
I know Bess is a sweaty girl. She's a sweaty girl like me. She gets hot flashes. She prefers being cold. I feel it in my bones. Oh shoot, scuttled bones, right?
Scuttled bones.
Better hurry, we're just about to start.
Jean Lafitte.
Welcome, my fellow Jolly Rogers.
know that
We
voice.
have several pressing matters to discuss this evening, so let us begin. As you may or
How
may not
cute is
have
it?
heard,
This group of
certain
like,
city officials are
I don't think it's
attempting
just
to
men,
lead
so I'm not gonna
us
say it's just
to
men, but
gather
adults
in public places
getting dressed up in their little
but
costumes to talk about things.
they have also seen fit to
Who says older people can't have hobbies?
My cell phone.
This is so, it is, this part scared me as,
seems we have an uninvited guest.
yeah, this part I hate. Bess not muting her phone is, and it wouldn't occur to her because she's not a sneaky girl. Bess is a fellow cozy girl. She's not looking for trouble. She doesn't think about things that could get her into more trouble.
You're making a big deal out of nothing. Can't we just talk about this? Where are you taking me? If you just let me explain.
I'd be,
Our trespasser is of the female variety.
like I was saying, I think it was mostly men here. It's giving man club. It's giving male club behavior.
And I also know that you were the one who attacked my friend over at the Bolay Mansion today. And if you don't tell me why right now, I promise you, you are gonna be
But good for
one
you, Bess.
big world of hurt.
The young lady's clearly upset about something. Clarence, take over the meeting while I try to find
It's
out
giving
why she's making
Al
all
Capone.
these crazy accusations.
They're not crazy, and you know it.
I will tell you everything, Miss Marvin, in private.
We got Gilbert sweating over here
And
now.
he did. He told me everything, Nancy. I bluffed him into confessing. You would have been so proud of me.
But
Oh,
also a
before
growth
I
moment for Bess.
the
Okay,
name
we have an
change
ad
of it
starting,
started
and
when
why
we
are there
were
so many ads? I'm so sorry, guys. I need to fix that.
Great.
I feel like there's
Now,
just
what
so
did Dr.
many.
Buford tell you?
Okay. First off,
There's been
he
like
said that
3,
when he was
but
my friend, Bruno Bolay directed him to steal the painting of
Okay.
Henry's parents.
here it's starting. I'll just let the conversation run its course.
Bruno seemed to think that way Henry would wind up with the crystal skull instead of somebody else.
So Dr. Buford dressed up in his skeleton man costume, stole the canvas, and hid it in the crypt like Bruno asked.
That must have been when Renee saw Mr. Death.
But then, Dr. Buford had second thoughts and decided to heck with Henry. He wanted that crystal skull for himself. So this afternoon, he dressed up in his skeleton man costume again and snuck into Henry's house so he could get the key from that mini cemetery and retrieve the painting he'd left in that crypt, knowing the painting would somehow lead him to the skull.
Only I walked in on him and ruined everything.
Right. And now that we're onto him, he says he no longer wants the skull. He's embarrassed
Kind of a
that he
crazy
allowed
plot
the
twist, though.
superstitious side to get the best of him, and says whoever finds the skull is welcome to it. At least that's what Dr. Buford said. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, what?
I told him you were looking for the skull.
That's all right.
Actually,
Nancy's so chill
you were
about
on
being
the point of
outed.
finding it.
Why would you tell him that?
I don't know. I got carried away. So if he lied to me and he really does still want the skull, then he might come after you. He left right after we talked. and
Bess,
don't
I do
think
the
he
same
went back
thing.
into
I
that
too am
meeting.
an
What if he's on his
oversharer.
way over there?
Don't worry, I'll be fine. Why don't you just... Whoa, that bolt of lightning was huge. Anyway, why don't you just go relax and I'll be back at the hotel before you know it, okay? Bess? Hello?
The phone lines are down.
Yes, you there?
Starting a witch hunt, like
Nope.
leading directly to Nancy. No, I would be. See, this is why, Nancy, you don't pressure your friends into situations they're not prepared to execute, because some of us are oversharers, Nancy, and when we get nervous, we start spewing facts. You should have known better. No, yeah, I was thinking the exact same. I was so confused when they're like, and so a few hours ago, he went there again. I was like, wait, what? I forget that we've been playing this game for like 3 weeks now. And Rachel, these games are wild where how does everything happen within Shadow Ranch totally feels doable, but games where everything happens within a day are such a whirlwind. Some of them work because they're shorter games and, you know, you can, like, justify, yeah, I could, you know, I can see Nancy being able to get around this much in that amount of time, but, okay. So, forced back into the Nancy verse. Call Bess and have her infiltrate. We did that.
Jack.
Enter the name Bess heard at the Jolly Roger meeting into the keypad on that box Iggy retrieved. So here's the thing is I didn't write it down. And here we go. Jean. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Does this person need me to like... Sweet, my new gym shoes just got here. I hope they left the package. I hope it wasn't like a signed one. I need to put myself on a list where I never have to sign for a package. Like, just leave it here. It's fine. We have cameras. Wait a second. Rachel, did you? Okay, you did. Here we go. Which one's it gonna be this time? Every flavor beans. Oop, don't want to spill them. Okay, not looking. Picking one. It's this one. Does this mean... I think this one's either going to be grass. I'm not going to look. I'm not going to look. I think it's either grass or booger, though, or green apple. Grass in a good way. It had kind of like a toxic taste at first that I'd... As a former horse girl... Not former. I'm lying to you guys. As a horse girl that used to eat grass growing up to really get into the role play, it's definitely grass. It's good grass. It's like, you know, like those really good... Ooh, when you find like a really thick blade of grass and you give it a good chew. Like you, as one does. And it's got that really good, like, crunch and sweetness to it. That's kind of like the taste. It's like a good, crunchy grass taste. Thanks, Rachel. I appreciate the water sip, too. Help her rinse her down. Ooh. Veganism Extreme Edition. Role-playing as a horse in my parents' back side yard growing up. Who didn't eat grass? As my cousin Jake, he's always like, Maddie, if you never want your... He talks like this, I swear. Maddie, if you don't want your kid getting sick, just have her suck on rocks like I did as a kid. I never get sick because of that. Verbatim. That is a quote from my cousin, who used to suck on rocks, and yeah, he's never sick. He's never gotten COVID. He's never gotten, like, I don't think he's ever been, like, sick as long as I've known him. His immune system needs to be studied, and there is probably some truth to him sucking on rocks as a kid. Not gonna let my kid just go out and suck on some rocks, but, like, I'm not a big, you know, dirt hater either. I'm not a germaphobe by any means. Okay. Goodbye till next time, beans. All right, Jean Lafitte, L-A-F-I-T-T-E. Also, has anyone been like, do you guys go through like gaming ruts? Because this is why I really like streaming, is because at least once a week, it forces me to, like, sit down and really play a game. And I don't know if, like, part of what I do for a living is playing video games and reviewing video games and testing video games. And it does start to feel like work sometimes in that way. It's not a bad thing, but it's just like it's something I feel like I have to do instead of want to do sometimes. So I'll go through these like periods of just like I don't game, and I'm like, God, that's what I want to do at night. Luteal phase, duh. I'm questioning myself again, and I know exactly what's causing it. I think like I'm so like anti-gaming during it because it just all I wanted to do is like just sit and rot at night lately. I've been in a rot mode. Has Jake heard of vaccines? There's these new things that help you not get sick to a degree. I'll ask him. I do think he's fully vaccinated and stuff. He's always been great about that, but just suck on rocks, Anya. If you just suck on rocks, you'll never get sick. Oh, Jake, he's such a character. He's the one who has an insane, what do they call it? Funko Pop collection. Insane Funko Pop collection. He has an insane Lego collection. Like, kids, speaking of spending money, like he you know, he's responsible. He's a fine young man. Bro's got Legos. And I can't believe what some of those Legos go for. The rocks are clearly doing the heavy lifting. Like, vaccines this much, the rocks. I love Legos. I love kind of the Lego resurgence that's going on as like a cozy hobby, but also like, they're so expensive. They're so expensive. Like, you used to just be able to get like a nice big like basic, you know, tub of Legos for a pretty affordable price. They're so crazy expensive now. How do we know vaccines don't have rocks in them? Jetpack's asking the real questions today. If Caleb was here, he would be howling at this because I know he's heard Jake say that before. And for those, that's Hockey Hero you'll sometimes see in chat. He's a cousin of my cousin, so we're cousins by association, I think is how it works. Cousin-in-law? No. We're cousins in a way. Because they're liquid. Just grind them up. Something. Those rock minerals. Okay, so do we have to type this whole thing in? JEANLAFITT. All for one eyeball. I think that's the thing that, like, my little hair regrowth is just driving me crazy today. It's all I see when I, like, look over at the screen on this side. I think that's the thing is, like, it's less exciting to find eyeballs than it is to find a clue that leads to another clue that leads to another clue or a key. I love the game. We talked about playing it on here before. The Paynes Creek Killings. I love that game because it's literally just a game of keys leading to other keys. And there's something about that just like tickles my brain just right. Salt is a type of rock, and that is in saline, which is typically the base. Okay, hold on. We're talking big things here. So therefore could be considered rock. Confirmed. Vaccines are just rock juice. Jake's been onto something this whole time. I haven't gamed since Christmas. But it's more about me struggling with executive dysfunction and always have a need to find the right time and play something, even though I know what that right time will never come unless I make it the right time for myself. The truest thing I've ever read. I hate that. And I think it's an evil circle of just like pushing yourself past that, like, I can't do it right now barrier. And I hate it because it's just like, I just need to like get into it. And I have the same thing, especially like gaming I'm a little bit better with. Because it's just that, like, if I can, like, fixate on a game, like ADHD fixation, if you get it going good, it's so good. So it's easier for me to, like, translate that into playing a game. But, like, what I hate is it keeps me from doing so many hobbies. And I think it's just that whole thought of, like, well, then I need to get this out, and I need to get that out, and I also need to, like, get this ready, and I need to, find that thing that I put, I think, in this closet the last time I stopped doing this hobby. And it just, like, I will think about the hobby, and, like, that almost, like, takes up more time than me actually just getting up and doing it. And then I'll think myself out of it. That is such a good way to explain that, Anya. Love the game. Paynes Creek Killings is so fun. Except for the frickin' end. I went into that thinking like, oh, this is like very Nancy Drew-esque. It's very like, it's very go at your own pace, finding clues. It was cozy. I'm alone in this abandoned town. I don't want to spoil the end, but like, not cozy at all. Health bar pops up at the end. We'll just leave it at that. You go the entire, like, however long that game is, because it's a long game. You go that entire game without seeing anyone or hearing anything, and all of a sudden a life bar pops up. Payne's Creek Killings is key collecting and digging through small town drama. And that is like, if I could just do that IRL, happy girl. And okay, I watched Nina Struggles do a playthrough of that, and I literally, like, watched the VOD of it with my husband just to show him the end and be like, see? This is why I never finished the game. I rage quit the game because I was like, I'm not going through this right now. That's an ending where, like, I hate to be, like, the damsel in distress that relies on a man to get me through a hard situation, but there are definitely some games where I'm like, I'm just up here not programmed for fast reaction style games. There are some, like, FPS games I can get behind. There's some, but I have to, like, that has to be, like, the reason for the game. If I'm like, oh, this is like a cozy kind of mystery game and something scary pops up, Tanner, can you do this for me real quick? Because it took me by surprise. But no, I've been feeling that lately with just the whole executive dysfunction and reading. Reading's one of those things too. I just need to like charge my Kindle and like leave it. You have to like trick yourself into it where I'll just like make things easier access for myself so it doesn't feel like this barrier I have to push myself past in order to do. It's like breadcrumbs a little bit. I have to like leave myself little cozy hobby breadcrumbs sometimes so that I follow them and end up doing the hobby that like I romanticize in my head the thought of doing instead of just like sitting on my phone, because that is. And I'm not a screen time hater. I'm genuinely not. Like, it's something, as a mother, I keep that in check for my child. I'm not going to be one of those moms who, like, spends, her entire childhood is me staring at a screen. Absolutely not. Then again, I do spend, like, editing. I consider as part of my part-time job with stuff. So there's a give and take to it. But, like, I love a good phone rot session. I love my ADHD brain adores TikTok. It is like, that is made for me. And I try to be mindful about my consumption of it too, because I know it's just not great for your attention span. And I'm hitting the point where it's like, okay, we got to start balancing this out with some hobbies again. I kind of ran my For You page a little bit dry, it feels like. So, nope, as I get past this point of my cycle, my goal for my feeling better phase is going to be to just really engage in some long-term or just longer format hobbies. Another game I was thinking of that's kind of like that and actually like really ticks me off because it's a beautiful game and I really want to play it. My brother loved it. It's The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. Redo? That one, very similar concept to Payne's Creek Killings, and also, like, if you've played Gone Home or What Remains of Edith Finch, which that game is my Roman Empire game. I think about that game. That game has left such an impact in my brain. Just, like, from the emotional side of it, like, definite trigger warnings for that game. It gets a little dark at times. I love that game, though. It is such a beautifully done game. Anyways. Devastating is a great way to describe it, 100%. Because it doesn't start out feeling that way. Like, you get hooked in with, like, the mystery and the exploration of it, and it's just, like, going back to your childhood home and, like, kind of discovering everyone's fates a little, kind of. I haven't played it in a while, but, oh my gosh, that game stuck with me. The Fish Factory one. I'll leave it at that, because it's horrific and devastating, and I don't want to like spoil that for someone who wants to like experience it themselves. I sob every time I play. That game sucked me in. I have not had a game like grip me in that way. In a way, I feel like that's the way a book can really like grip and affect me. And games don't always have that same effect on me. Even though you're literally like, I feel like games are way more like in perspective. I'm going to snooze the ad break again. Again, I feel like that's so soon. And I think, Anya, when you met, like, I think you mentioned earlier, like, have we been streaming for that long? Like, we've only been going an hour and 40 minutes, and I feel like we've had, like, 4 ad things. That's crazy. Can I adjust that from here? I don't think so. I'll adjust it for next, because I want to set it so it's just, like, a chunk of, like, we can, like, chunk it so it's not interrupting constantly. But, yeah, that game, I played it on a whole Sunday. It was like a random game that was on sale on Xbox, I think. And this is back when I had like my TV and Xbox up here. And I just like, when I figured out I was getting sucked into the game, I was living with our roommate Tyler at the time too. And I was like, Tyler, I am not leaving this room until I finish this game today. You're on your own for like, you know, don't worry about me for meals and stuff. Like, I have to like get into this. I have to just isolate for this one. I'm always like, oh, I know what it is. Now I'll be fine. And I'm not. No, it's so beautifully done game for it to have such an emotional effect on me in that way. Because I do feel like sometimes I can distance myself from the emotions of certain situations and media I consume. That one just sucked me in. If you have not played What Remains of Edith Finch and you're in a good brain space for it, you know, check out trigger warnings, that kind of stuff. It deals with like death and really kind of sad situations. I think you should play Frog Detective. Very silly detective games, but with good lore. That does sound fun. I'm going to write that one down. I love a good, like, Frog Detective's so fun. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, is you can do, like, 3-minute ad breaks once an hour instead. Would you guys prefer that? I mean, you guys are the viewers. I would rather, you know, if you have a preference for one, there's 3 of them. Ooh. But yeah, if you have a preference for a chunk of ads versus spread out, let me know. Oh my gosh, I'm so stuffy. Let me take a breathe and sip break real quick. I think so too. That would be better because it doesn't feel like 3 minutes, and it's such a good time for like snacks, bathroom break, stretch. I kind of like using them as just like a get up myself if I can, or if I'm like watching a stream. We'll do that. I will fix that after today's stream. Okay, so we did that, and we got an eyeball. All we got was an eyeball, right? We're up to 20. Yep, not bad, not bad. And we only have how many more? 1? Maybe it's not 32. 2, 3, is there only 25? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 25 eyes. I thought it was like 32 or 33 the whole time. It's a trilogy, and you have to play all of them. So many people don't, and they miss out on the 3rd game. Just from like the lore and stuff, I'd think. Yeah, absolutely. Is that one that, do you want me to like do it as like a playthrough on stream eventually, or is that like a play by yourself one and we'll talk about it kind of one? I'm open to either. I like having separate games for like me to enjoy versus games I like to stream, so it does not matter to me. I was so lucky the trilogy was on Game Pass, so I just played it for a laugh. I love Game Pass, and I love suggesting it to people. Okay, I'll definitely, yeah, we'll leave that one for like a stream game potentially, especially I'll look into like the length of them too. Because obviously I don't stream all the time. It's like a once a week thing, but what time is it? She's been sleeping for like 2 hours. She was so cute when I put her down for her nap earlier. She crawled to, we always bring her into our bedroom because that's where we like keep her sleep sack and stuff. You have to, babies sleep in like sacks now. They can't get blankets until a certain age. I think she's like old enough for a blanket, but she's so cute. She like crawled to the room at nap time. She loves sleeping. She's such a good sleeper. crawled to the room, like said bye to the Bups outside, which are dogs, and our neighbors in the backyard have a bunch of dogs, so she loves, waving at them and knocking on the window at them. And then I brought her into like where across the hall where she sleeps. It's kind of like a nursery room, but a utility room too. It's like a normal fine room. Like it's not like a spooky room or anything. It's just not like a proper bedroom. I brought her into there and she was like, bye, after I laid her down. She melts me. She's so cute. Okay, let's go ahead and just roll the ad break right now then. I have to go to the bathroom real quick anyways. So I will see you guys in like 1 minute. All right, I think we are back in like 5 seconds, so I'll give it a minute just to catch up. All right, I think we're back. Hi, everyone. Lucy came too. Okay, so the first 2 games are around 1 hour long. Third and last game is like 2. We could like bang that out in a day. Like that would be a really good, like if we ever have time for like a weekend stream or like, I like the idea of using weekend streams as like our little bonus streams as I can and as I have time to, and energy too sometimes, just depending on the weekends and what we're up to and stuff. But no, that would be a really good, like, we had like a long stream one weekend, that would be a perfect series to play through. That'd be fun. Love all the games. Third one is the best. I support weekend streams for such. And they're like one of those things where like sometimes I just need to like really isolate for a weekend and like not like see anyone but my immediate family. But with the weather getting nicer, that's helped. Winter is just my hibernation period, and I feel like I just did not get to hibernate as hard as I usually get to this year. It's been such a busy year so far, but and like if we're like busy, going home and seeing family and stuff like that, I'm less likely to stream. But like a good weekend where like nothing's going on and we have just like minimal obligations, perfect for a stream. I love a good weekend stream. Saturday was so good. Oh, I'm so happy we ended up streaming on that day. Okay. What are we up to here? Okay, so we did all that. I feel like we're just at kind of that weird point. I really don't want to do the buzzard stuff. I don't want to do that one. It's not that bad. Maddie, tell yourself it's not that bad and it won't be that bad. My gym mantra. If anyone has, like, do you guys have those sayings that you, like, say to yourself to, like, motivate yourself to get things done? I have one that's actually been so effective. So I feel like, oh, I forgot to put my tripod back. Sometimes I use it to like keep my door propped shut so that Lucy can get in, but she will like smack the door open and like throw it wide open sometimes. So it's fine. But anyways, I feel like a lot of mantras don't work for me because they sound so corny. But one, I don't know if I saw it on like TikTok or something like that. One of them is like, you can do anything for 1 minute. And that has been like such a game changer for me in terms of just like getting myself in the mental space to just put my head down and get something done that I kind of don't want to do. Whether that's an extra minute on the treadmill, and like there'll be like 7 minutes left for my workout, and I'll just tell myself like, oh, you can do it for 1 minute. Oh, you can do it for 1 more minute. See, that minute wasn't so bad. What's 1 more minute? That one has helped me so much, especially like sometimes I will like do it with like a task that I really don't want to do. Like you can do it, it'll take you 1 minute. You can do anything for a minute. Mine is a meme. I love that it's a meme found from TikTok that's like, come on, you fucker. Ah, shit. Same day. I think I know that sound. I think I know that sound. Yep. Ah, same damn shit. Yep, I know that one. I love that that's what you use for your motivation one. I love that. That's a really good, I'm going to start saying that one in my head when I'm at the gym and I don't want to be. Although, I will say, hold on.
Yes?
My emo king. I will say I used to be someone that was like super into fitness when I was, like 18? Back when like, you're like promoted, like, told to be in sports and active and stuff like that as a kid. But like my early 20s, like from 18 to like early 20s, I was a super diligent runner. Like I'm saying like I'd go run 12 miles for fun. And that was, I've never felt so mentally clear in my life. Like I was so mentally strong and what's the word I'm looking for? Disciplined. I was so disciplined in a way that like nowhere else in my life have I ever been this way. I need that back in my life. I was so disciplined and so just in such a healthy relationship with activity and running, and like that's how I like if I was having like an emotional day or just felt like a situation wasn't going the way I wanted it to and I just needed to like step back and like reassess, I would just go running and come back in a better mood and figure it out in a very healthy way. I need to get back to that, and that's I'm not dying. Exactly. You can do anything for a minute and you probably won't die. I believe in moaning and groaning and getting through it rather than silence and critting. I'm a bitcher too. I love bitching. I love bitching. And my husband's like, I love when you bitch. Like you bitching is like what I come home to hear. It's like, I'll bitch about anything. I love to complain and I love being around. There's like the kind of complainer that it's just like, oh, everything's like just kind of always bad for that person, huh? But then there's like the kind of complainer I love being around where like I love bitching. I love complainers. I genuinely do. There, like I said, there's the kind of person where it's just like, negative Nancy all the time and but there's like if you're a bitcher, please bitch to me. I love hearing bitching. But no, I used to be like I was crazy into running and just in such a healthy like it mentally made like really balanced my hormones, I feel like back then. Got out of it, It's such a hard thing to get back into. Like it's just one of those things that I always see as like I saw as like a future thing and like, oh, I'll get back to the gym eventually. I'll get back into activity when it's nice out. I'll go on walks more and things like that. Finally, I just started going. And my husband, it helps that my husband's so supportive with it because it feels like a tough thing with a baby sometimes when it's cold outside and you can't take him on walks. He's like, you go to the gym twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. I take care of supper. I take care of her. You just like go and don't worry about anything except what you want to worry about. I don't care if you sit on the floor and you just look on your phone and stretch. Like just go get out of the house and focus on yourself for an hour. So I'm like, you know what? It sounds nice to not have to worry about supper twice a week. And I love cooking. I do. My husband's also a fantastic cook. And it works out for like his work schedule and my work schedule for me to cook supper. I'm like fighting against a traditional role here. Like, guys, it's not that traditional. But no, it's been so, like, I look forward to it now. I didn't go last night because it was day one and I was sick, and, like, I'm not going to go to the gym and get people sick, but it's been very nice. And I've been, like, hitting, like, different goals with it, and it's just, I think it's been a very important thing, especially for my executive dysfunction, to just have a habit that I keep at least twice a week. We went on a bonus date I went to the gym 3 times last week, because my husband and I never get to go together, and we dropped my daughter off with my parents, and we're like, let's go on a gym date. It was perfect. People who don't complain have it way too easy in life, or they just don't care enough about anything. Yeah. And I don't vibe with them for that. There is, like, a looking on the positive, and there is a point where it's like, if you're bitching too hard, you know, sometimes, you know, you gotta be positive about it. But no, I'm the same way. I am a bitcher and I'm a complainer, and you gotta roll like that if you want to roll with me, kind of, you know? It just, some people are just too scared to point out the negatives in things. I can justify this. I can justify being a bitcher if I have to be. No, and I love when you, like, find, like, when you kind of, like, know someone but not quite on that level, but then you, like, break down that barrier, and it's like, oh, wait, you're a bitcher too, because I'm a bitcher, and that's, like, a match made in heaven kind of feeling. Like, I can just feel our personalities, like, when that happens.
Did you know that Bruno was a member of a group called the Jolly Rogers?
No. Should I care?
Ooh, cold response.
Maybe not, but I care. They apparently ran around with...
Should have had Nancy, like, jump into, like, the boring lore that Henry does not care about.
Sorry.
I'll stop bugging you now.
Henry's a bitcher.
Groovy.
We know Henry's a bitcher. I vibe with him for that. Literally, me and this one girl in class about a horrible guy we had. There's something so therapeutic about negatively connecting with someone. When you're, like, especially when something where it's like, am I the only person bothered by this? Like, is this not, like, pissing anyone else off right now? And then, like, you make, like, the eye contact, and you can just, like, see their eyes, like, light up when it's such a good feeling to co-complain, to commiserate with someone is such a good feeling, and it's such a bonding experience. And I just feel like if you don't know someone on that level, like, you're probably not as close with them as you think you are. You gotta bitch with someone to truly know them. I love that. Okay, let's see what Renee knows.
Hello again.
I'm really just avoiding the buzzard puzzle.
I think I found the letter that Dr. Bolet was reading when he had his fatal heart attack. Iggy the iguana had taken it. Apparently, Dr. Bolet did have a crystal skull and believed possessing it would make him immortal. So he had it tested, and the lab sent him its findings in this letter. Read the second paragraph.
My analysis showed that the skull, while made of remarkably pure crystal, was carved using modern instruments. In layman's terms, the skull is a fake.
My guess is Dr. Bolet believed in the skull so completely that when he read it was a fake, he was totally devastated, and his heart just stopped. But what I don't quite understand is, why did you tell me you didn't know about the crystal skull when this letter indicates you did?
All right.
T.
Dr. Bolet told me about the skull. As you said, he believed with all his might owning that skull was the reason he was still going strong at 95. I lied to you because, well, for one thing, Dr. Bolet swore me to secrecy. And for another, he kept the skull hidden. And up until just this minute, I wanted to be the one who found it.
Okay, I love when you're both like, oh, you know that person? And then you give each other the look. I read this and she was talking, so I didn't want to talk over her. But you give each other the look, realizing you both had a bad situation with them, and you start comparing stories. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like that. Like, I can literally watch my friendship meter, like, on Sims, go from, like, acquaintance to, like, nearly best friend when that happens. That is the number one way to, like, form a close relationship with me, is we have to commiserate. The look in their eyes when they know what you know, but, like, they know something different and you know something different, you're about to share what you guys know, is such a good feeling. Literally, like, we're only 10 people in my class, but we're all pretty much by ourselves due to being mainly online students, so we don't really talk, and we also struggle with bringing up stuff independently. So whenever I find someone who agrees with me on something about a teacher or a student or a unique circumstance, an angel is getting their wings every time. Oh my gosh, when someone like understands you on a deeper, like guttural level like that, where it's like, oh, you had a problem with this too, here's my experience with it. It feels so good. And yes, there's all great things about, you know, having a productive end to a conversation like that and, you know, coming out on the other side better because of it. But sometimes just like a real good bitch or vent session can feel super therapeutic. Super therapeutic. There's, like I said, there's a balance between, like, I've definitely met people who are like too much that way and it's like everything's bad all the time. And it does bring the vibe down. But I don't think I'm one of those people. After much reflection in the last few minutes, no, my husband like makes me feel sane with it because like that's, him and I do that all the time. Like the way our eyes light up when he's about to start bitching about something at work, or I'm about to start like bitching about even as it could be something that I saw earlier online about, you know, a certain person or something. Like, you'll never believe. I'm kind of a gossip too, guys. I saw a TikTok yesterday. I think I sent it to my husband too. It was like, someone saying like, oh, you're such a gossip, and the person's like, you know, can't a girl keep traditional storytelling alive? I can be a bit of a gossip. On Monday we had an assignment about using AI as a tool for art, which, yeah, I was gonna say that's a crazy thing to, like, just like using, like, I'm like not the ethical kind, like just using a random AI, I'm guessing, to just generate, and it steals from other artists. And got paired up with someone who has the same views as me about it, and it was so nice to work with her rather than someone who agrees with it. Nope, that's... Gossip's always made the world turn. Where would we be without gossip? Where would we be? And sometimes that gossip is just so piping hot. Like, how can you not share it with someone? Like, I'm not, you know... There's like... dogging on a person, but then there's like idle gossip where it's like that's the situation and that's how it happened. Who am I, you know, to not share it? So I work in taxes, and I assumed so, Jetpack, just because of how bogged down you've been lately with work. I assumed you worked with taxes. I have another friend who does, and like we're like, we'll hang out. Our kids are like 2 months apart. We're like, we'll hang out, just not right now. And I totally get that. She's busy. She's like showing me her stacks of paper, and she's like, and it just keeps growing bigger. It gets bigger every day. I see it and I feel like I'm making progress. And then I look and it somehow gets bigger. My heart goes out to accountants and tax people this season because tough time of year. And they love to use ChatGPT to help look through codes, which sounds great. Okay, so I actually, as like kind of just like a freelance thing, I don't do it very often anymore. I used to do it more. But I do AI training. Why am we getting another ad already? Get away. I did some AI training. It pays like pretty decently. It's like it's just online. It's not live. It's just like, as there's projects available, you can like click and undo them. And they're so inaccurate. Like, it's so crazy to me how many people are relying on ChatGPT or AI anything for like jobs and like real life stuff. And it's like, they're so inaccurate. There's so many things that they spit out that are so inaccurate. Like, my job in training them is just literally punishing them for, it's very reward punishment based, but it's just punishing them for like doing wrong information, and it's just fact checking and like, you know, trying to figure out how they got that information versus this information. I have like a hate-love relationship with it because AI, it is probably the future, and it's something that, you know, people can use to kind of help themselves with, but I'm like, not yet. Oh my gosh, not yet. There's people on, I have to scroll up. There's people on Discord that I talk to, and our friendship is mainly based on bitching and gossiping in certain communities. 100%. I do not have a life from Feb to April 15th. Yeah, sending you good vibes, and you are 6 days away. You are less than a week away. Debriefing. I love that word for it. I'm not saying bad things about them. I'm just debriefing on the situation and analyzing why they did what they did. Productive. see. It's wild. It's so wrong. It's so, like, people who, it scares me when people are using them for real things, because it's like, you can't just believe that it's not a search engine. It's not like how Google works. It's not at all like that. It's one of those things where if it's too good to be true, it probably is, and it is one of those things. Like, we are not there with technology yet. It's not even close. Someone asked ChatGPT for tax code to support something, and they just made... That's a wild question to ask ChatGPT, though. Every good debrief ends with, but I wish them the best, or I hope they're in a better place. As long as you say that, you're off the hook. Hey, Brave Bushido, I have you. What a day. Okay, what happened at work? 5 hours of wrangling kids at the holiday fun event. Oh my goodness. And as a former teacher, like, I can totally, speaking of commiserating, those kids can take it out of you sometimes. I refuse to use AI at all. And that's like where I'm at, where it's like, I feel like bad making money from training AIs, and like I'm part of the problem a little bit. Still analyzing how I feel about it. It's one of those things where it feels inevitable, but I wish I could just like smack people sometimes, because I'm like, what do you mean you're looking this up on ChatGPT? Like, and you just like put it right into what you were like, this is a real work thing that you're getting paid to do and you're using ChatGPT for? Yikes. Refuse to use AI at all. I know so many friends IRL who are so dependent on ChatGPT, and it icks me out so bad. Like, why are you talking to an AI about getting over a guy? Really? It's against my will. We will know the bots have taken over Anya if we catch her using AI. That's something that they use it for? Because, like, I even have problems, like, I don't like using it for idea generation or, like, writing things necessarily, because it just feels really inauthentic to what I can output. The most I'll use it for is, like, if I'm trying to rewrite something or think of a certain word or way to say something, I'll, like, type out what I'm trying to say, and I'll be like, can you, like, reword this in a tone that sounds like whatever I'm trying to achieve? And sometimes it still doesn't work that well. Like, I feel like it's so corny most of the time. But it just... I really question the people who just, like, take what they get from ChatGPT and run with it. The one thing I will say I think it's great to be used for is writing frickin' cover letters, because I hate that those things exist anyways, and I'm happy to not be in a field where I need to do that. We used it for my neighbor to write his cover letter. He was applying for a different job, and so we showed him how to do that. But because if it's similar to like following a format of something, I can kind of get it. Have I used it for anything else? I know some people use it for, like, recipe generation. Like, hey, I have this and this and this that I need to use before it goes bad. Can you give me some recipes based on what I have? That sounds nice, too. Hold on. Snoozing the ad again. The conversation's too good. Oops. There. I see uses for it. I do. It's just... My end note for it is just, it's not that good yet, and don't trust it. Please fact check everything it spits back out to you, because they are so flawed, it's not funny. And I'm shocked. I'm shocked by the number of people. Don't even get me started on the art stuff, which, interestingly, I can tie in with, like, the whole Inzoi game. That's been my fixation lately, is just, it's a new big game that came out. I've been thinking about it a lot lately. Because they use what they claim to be is ethical AI. Because you can use AI in the game, which is interesting to me. To generate, like, if I want to generate a shirt with, like, I want to generate a shirt like this to wear in game, you can do that to an extent, but it's their own database that they've developed, or it's, like, art that's, like, a free license to use. They call it ethical AI. It's really interesting to look into if you want to do, like, a deep dive on AI in games. Inzoi, what's the Krafton, I think is the company, Krafton. I believe they're a Korean company, huge powerhouse, like multi-billion-dollar company that has like the resources to probably do something like this. But if you're interested in like ethical versus unethical AI, that is a really interesting thing to look into. Sorry, I'm so stuffed up. She got ChatGPT to make her, okay, yeah, I'm really invested in this, to make her a glow-up guide for her to get over him. Like today she asked me if she could post something to irk the guy, and I said, yeah, you have free will, and she said that ChatGPT told her it was too early. Be so fucking for real. That is an immature use. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to bitch too much, but that's crazy. So they're using it like as a therapist. I've seen some people say that like if they want to like get into like a good like running plan or something like that, or like fitness plan, they'll use it to like go from like nothing to wherever goal they want to be. But at the same time, like there's so many well researched and like design plans that are pretty personable or able to be personalized to someone's lifestyle, that it's just one of those things where I feel like that resource is already out there and ChatGPT is just fetching it for you. It's hilarious. The kids thought twice about annoying me. I had them eating out of my hand. Good. See, you're good at your job because you know how to handle those situations. I bet every day is just like a whole different rodeo for you. It does sound fun. My coworkers also add AI bots to our work calls to transcribe everything and summarize. I've even worked with like some of those audio things where it's like, I love having kind of like the behind the scenes look at it. Again, we'll see what ends up happening with AI in the future and stuff. But like, I love having that background because I know not to, you know, I hope a lot of people know not to blindly trust AI and think it's that good yet, because it's not. It's just really not. But yeah, that does feel like an invasion of privacy too. And also people will use it for work things where it's like, you should not be putting those, like I used to work in state testing with like state testing questions and like testing the, you know, the psychometrics and like why this makes a good question and if it's like unethical to use for like student, it's a whole thing, rigmarole. But like they had to like put out a thing when AI was starting to become a thing, like, hey, by the way, everyone, please don't be putting these like super highly secured lockdown test questions into a public accessible ChatGPT thing that can store data on you, because that's super against all the NDAs that you've signed with us. And yeah, it feels like someone's there who's not supposed to be there too, I'm sure. We discussed this in class and we all kind of agreed that AI is still too new and underdeveloped to be used to such a degree as people just took off with it, and there needs to be more disclaimers. I'm sure that there are. I don't use it that often, but like there should be more disclaimers of like, hey, it's still important to do your own research and fact check things. And I think we've just lost that whole side of media literacy overall. Unfortunately. And sorry, I was like reading and then I stopped. Like we should prioritize quality over quantity, but it's the opposite. I'm so far back in chat. It's so the opposite right now. Okay, there is going to be an ad break in like 50 seconds that I can't stop. I'm so annoyed with those. Which I feel is also causing us to lose our media literacy. Yep, exactly, and general understanding of things, and also our general thinking skills. When the ad's on, I'm going to play the game and get through this conversation, because this is like the meat and potatoes of stream right now. This is good. No, I could literally write a book with you, Anya, just about like that chat message right there. Like the loss of media. I've seen it again, as someone chronically on TikTok, reading comments is horrifying to me. As a former teacher too, just, especially my colleagues are like, boss, do you really need to be in today? Gulp, we got this. Chillax, I'm here now. I'm sure they're happy to have you there. Okay, ad is starting in 5 seconds. I'm still like scrolled back in chat a little bit, so we'll catch up. Anya, I know you're on ad right now. Ad break ends in 1.5 minutes. Okay, we're gonna go back to the game real quick.
What made Dr. Boulay decide to have the skull authenticated?
Getting the skull tested was my idea. When Dr. Boulay told me about it, I was skeptical and that troubled him. So I helped him find a private laboratory where we could take it, so any and all doubts would be dispelled once and for all. I certainly did not anticipate that the truth would result in his keeling over and dying like that. Well, now that I too know that the skull's a fake, I can stop fretting over its whereabouts. In fact, I should probably thank you and Iggy for setting me straight.
I just
See you
know
later.
she's so full of
Come
shit.
see me anytime.
She just has that look in her eye. Okay. We have 30 seconds on our ad break, and then we're going to catch up with chat. Oh, can't do that yet. 20 seconds. Okay. 5, 4, ad break is over. Okay. Catching back up on chat. So we talk about people's taxes, like they have it on clients' calls. Sure, we don't speak their SSNs out loud, but still, nope. That does feel like a little breach of privacy there, Jetpack, where we shouldn't be using that quite yet. Now, getting into the business where you create a secure AI, I'm just thinking from like a business perspective here, where you create a secure AI that's like, my husband would know the words for this. We're totally talking about this over supper tonight. I can't wait for him to get home now. Where like you can offer from like an IT perspective a private AI database that's like on location at like wherever you keep your IT stuff. That could be like a good business model for like transcribing meetings and just, organizing stuff once it gets to that point, and I'm sure it will. But as of right now, like that's a crazy thing to use, and that's a huge breach of privacy, and I'm shocked that that's like something happening already. My practice teacher used ChatGPT to get an English story for the students to read, and I just kept thinking, like, why couldn't she? Why? And like, their story generation is like okay, but it's still like there's still like flaws to point out and things that you have to like, and it's not crafted by a real author that's like trained to, not that everyone who writes needs to be like trained to a certain degree, but like, I don't want my daughter growing up as an English teacher, former English teacher. Like, I would hate for her to get AI generated stories in her classroom. I think there's a way to use it in, no, that's bizarre to me. That is bizarre to me. We be yapping. I know, Discord's happening this week. My 2 things, I did not get it done before. It's been like a really busy week randomly. Anya's video essay coming soon. Discord's happening this week. This weekend is my like goal to like, if I don't have it done by then, it will be created. I'll put it on my not my Snapchat story. I accidentally posted on my Snapchat story yesterday, and it was like I was snapping my husband about not feeling well, and I didn't think Freya was either. And I think I totally mentioned being on my cycle, and I put it on my Snap story. 2 people saw it. I need to figure out how to turn Snap. We still use like Snapchat in my circles just as like a form of communication. It feels ancient. But anyways, Instagram story. I will probably put it on my Instagram story once it's ready. Mama, I'm already working on one presentation. When we have presentation night, you could do which part of your job? Bring back meeting minutes, right? Honestly, like I loved being the what do they even call them? I'm so removed. I've only been out of the work space for like a year and a half, but I'm so far removed from like some of that stuff sometimes. Whoever keeps minutes, there's a name for not secretary. There's like little roles we all gave each other in stupid little meetings we had. Stupid meetings that could be emails. Ugh. I love not having meetings. We also talked about that in class, that it would have been completely different if my uni had its own secured AI with its own library. Exactly. The ethical AI is going to be, it's going to be talked about, like, if not this year, by next year. That is going to be such a hot topic. It should be talked about now. But yeah, if you have your own secured AI with your own library of photos, paintings, drawings that it can pull from in an ethical way that does not harm other artists that don't want their work being stolen, and that uni had ownership over rather than using a random AI that takes material from literally anywhere online. And I don't understand how we're not understanding that yet and just running with it. Secretaries, yep. That just felt like too official. Treasurer, secretary, all the fun little terms for stuff. My daughter is awake. She's just singing for the time being. She's so cute when she wakes up, guys. I'm obsessed with her. I am just obsessed with her. Okay, so how does this, let's see if we can get this darn puzzle. Can we? Do we have to unlock it first? I tried when we were on the ad break. I did try to do this thingy. Do I have to like look at it closer actually? We'll probably save this one for next time. What time is it? It's 3:18 here. We've been going for about 2.5 hours. Not bad. Not bad. I would love to get this puzzle done first, but sorry. Bean is barking now. What is he barking? I don't know if you guys could hear that in the background. It was so loud. He was doing like a rawr, rawr, rawr. He makes the craziest noises I've ever heard a dog make. Craziest. What a boy. Okay. Pull the heads. Okay, pull the heads on the statues. I don't think I was doing that part right. Because you're supposed to be able to hear it do a certain thing. I hate this puzzle. This is one of those puzzles where, like, I'll try and figure it out on stream because I should. My brain needs it. But this is a puzzle I almost always look up because it's just, it frustrates me. Ross, my receptionist manager, snapped at the end of the day. Oh no! One of those days. And it's the turning around and turning back around, and he's like, dude, chill out like me, and he started rubbing his chest, and I said, stop. Stop, Miles. Poor guy. Yeah, I don't know what Bean's getting after right now. We are not figuring this one out today. Okay, we'll probably save here. So for next time, I think all we have left is, we'll probably start with the buzzard heads. We did the shovel stuff. Yep, we did the shovels. We have not done the librarian's eye puzzle, which is going through like those cards in the drawer in the library. So title's the thing, addition's the hook. Haven't done that yet. Key to the statues, which is this one. We haven't done that one yet. And Plentiful Pirates. We have not, because we have to find a missing page for that one, actually. So I think we still have 3 puzzles to do from like the book for Sleepy Eyes or whatever it's called. And then we shouldn't be far from the ending. I'm thinking this will take probably one more stream to finish. And then we can look at if we want to do another Nancy Drew game, if we want to do Alex Hill. I'd be, like I said, I could play that one by myself off stream. That'd be, fine too. But if that's something where you guys are like, no, we want to watch that one on stream, totally open to that. We'll talk about it in the Discord once it's up and running this weekend.
All done.
And we do know that because I think that was in the book. It we need like 2 sticking up and like 2 on the side sticking straight out. And then we have to update the lists. Yep. And the resume. We have to, speaking of using AI, didn't we say that we were just going to plug it into ChatGPT and have it spit one out? That's a fun use of AI. That's an okay use of AI. It's just the rest of them are really hard to get behind. Looked at Kelly and said, We replace Ross. Not poor Ross. But yeah, we will probably save here. Here we go. Double check that it's there. Okay, and all right, so for next time, we will probably be finishing. This hair is driving me crazy. We will probably be finishing, hopefully finishing Legend of the Crystal Skull. I think I'm ready to be done with this game. The beginning is so good, and it just kind of like tapers off, I think. I think I gaslit myself into liking that game more than I do. It's good. It's good. It's probably a B to C tier for me now. But we'll be finishing it. Yep, update the list and resume. We've got... I need to fix the ad thing. In fact, I think I can just do that right now. Maybe while I'm streaming. It might not like that. Because that's driving me crazy. Okay, and we can... Yeah, I'll have to manually figure out how to do that. I'll do that right when we stop streaming. Say hi to baby Freya and Bean. I will. They are just the cutest together. I'm excited to go hang out with her. She's just, I'm like, every stage like comes with its, you know, highs and its lows, and like, I'm so like pleasantly surprised by how many, this is a bad thing to say as a parent. I'm so pleasantly surprised by how many highs there have been to parenthood, because I feel like so many people make it sound, and like I get people have different levels of support and different levels of like, you know, skill in what parenting looks like versus like what taking care of kids can look like. I love it. It's so much fun. I knew I'd love being a parent. Like, I love being her parent so much. It's so fun. And we're just like, this is such a fun stage right now. She's learning so much. She's like, she told us yesterday, and again, I don't know how to feel about this. We're very careful with like screen time for her, and I just don't want, like, please don't sit your kids in front of screens for 8 hours a day and like think that that's okay, because screen addiction's a real thing for kids, and I have seen it in, you know, its highest forms as a former teacher. But like yesterday, she like so politely, she's 15 months old, she asked to watch some Miss Rachel, and we're like, she did it so politely. I think we do. I think we just let her. I think we turned on an episode. Anyways, love the part of the characters are the best part. So when you're at a point where it's no talking, just lock into puzzles. It's a bit boring. Yeah. There's just not a lot of, it's a lot of like alone time in this game, I think. And I feel bad kind of ragging on the game as much as I have, but it's maybe just not a great game for stream, because I've so enjoyed it. Like when I've played it by myself on like a nice gloomy day, I've definitely enjoyed those playthroughs. But yeah, it's maybe just not the best one for stream, I think. And that's totally like, I think how Nancy, like, they're either good to be played by themselves or they're really good for stream, and there's not a whole lot in between sometimes. Okay. So, I hope everyone has a great rest of your week. Keep an eye out on Instagram stories for a Discord announcement. I'll post the link. I'll probably post it in my, like, link in bio thing. That's happening, and it's been a long time coming, but it's time. Some games are stream games, others are not. Yep, that's 100%. Yeah, great way to describe it. Okay, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. I hope to see you guys maybe active in a Discord later this week. That's my other thing, is like, I know some people just like have it in their like link in bio thing, and like anyone can join it, so there has to be like a level of moderation. That's just something I need to like force myself to sit down and do some like deep diving into, and look at how like other community Discords are ran, because yeah, it can be, we don't need, you know, people bringing down the vibe in there. We can't have just anyone, you know, being in there. So, but yeah, that is the plan, and I will see you guys for sure on Wednesday. I'm not super optimistic about a weekend stream. Probably not this weekend or next weekend. We'll see for this weekend. But yeah, I will for sure see you guys on Wednesday. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. And I hope you have a great weekend if I don't get to talk to you before then. And yeah, happy Wednesday, everyone. Bye. Actually, no, wait. Should we raid? I forgot about it last time. Let me see. You guys can head out if you want, but let's do a raid. Is there anyone playing some Nancy Drew? I don't think I see anyone. By category, Nancy Drew. Okay. They have a nice filtering system on here now. Okay, maybe not. You can't just go like by Nancy Drew. Oops. Not what I wanted to click. Oh, okay. Nina Struggles is playing right now. She's playing Fahrenheit Indigo Prophecy Remastered. I'm not heard of that game yet, actually. So let's go ahead and raid her. She does a ton of Nancy. If you don't follow her already. Oh, wait. MLMs is streaming. Root Trees. Okay. That sounds good. That's a MLMs. Perfect. All right, perfect. Let's go ahead and raid. I will see you guys over there. I'll hang out for a little bit, but I gotta go get my daughter up. I'll probably be lurking. And are we ready? Raid now?